So what's up, guys? I wanted to do a video today about chicken coops and whether or not it's best to have a stationary coop or to have a mobile coop, and the pros and cons of both. So let's get into that, okay? So this is one of our stationary coops, I guess. I think it's 16 foot long by about 8 foot deep. It's oversized for the amount of birds that we have. But I had the tin, as you can see, is reclaimed tin. I did have to buy a few pieces of wood for it, but all in all, it gives them plenty of room. They get to figure out where they want to roost at. It is pretty nasty right now, but I contribute a lot of that to the ducks. When I just had chickens in here, it did not stay nearly as moist. We could throw down hay and grass clippings and all that, and it kept it pretty good. The chickens kept it stirred up. Just use some milk crates along the wall. Normally they don't even roost in all or lay in all of them, but sometimes they do. Now that we got quite a few more, I'm sure they will even more. So you can see that one, she was in here earlier, so I don't think she's laying an egg. I think she's probably sitting. It's one of my black coppers, or really a black Moran, I guess you would call her. She's Quattro's sister-ish. I don't know. But we did add this partition, which is kind of in shambles right now. But this way I can have, some chicks or just somebody that I need to isolate over there. We got plenty of ventilation. So for all in all, I probably don't have $100 in this. If I was trying to build it now, it'd probably be a few hundred because wood's outrageous. But right now, it's a used dog feeder. I do need to replace that though. I think the bottom's rusting out of it. But it's worked pretty good. So some of the pros of having a static coop, one not moving. Well, I think the build it and forget it mentality would like that. I mean, you gotta come out if you were doing it really, really good, maybe come out every, 2, 3, 4 weeks, do either a deep litter method, throw out some more shavings or clippings or whatever, or fork it out and put in new, either way. Maybe once a month. With the amount of chickens I got and this big of a coop, it's a whole lot less than that. If you had a crap ton of birds, then that might be a bigger issue. The downside to a static coop is you got to come out and clean them, and also figuring out how to keep your birds safe. So we live out in the country, and we have hawks, we have raccoons, possums. Those are probably the three major. Oh, an owl. I had an owl take a bird. Those are the major ones that we have to deal with. So for the possum and the coon, we put up just a welded wire fence around the run, and then we put electric fence around the top of that. And it's not foolproof by any stretch of the imagination, but it has worked for, in large part, to keep them safe from the predators. And we also employ this. So we keep this dude running pretty much year round. Just live trap. Whenever we get a coon or possum come by, throw some eggs in there. And, you know, we catch one, hopefully, while they're young, when they're just checking out the fence and everything. And we take them on somewhere else, whether we dispatch them or whether we relocate them. But I don't know if you can see it on the video, but we got 2 strands of wire to run along through there, and it's done pretty well. You know, I can't complain about it. I have had to, oh, we got a broken deal there. Gotta fix that before we leave. It's grounding out. But yeah, I can't complain. It's done pretty well, keeping the predators at bay for the most part. Also, with the static coop, I've got a big barrel that we fill up with water. You know, I can theoretically leave them probably a week at a time if I wanted to go on vacation or whatever, and they'd have plenty of food, plenty of water. Nest boxes would be overflowing, but food and water, they can survive a week or probably more than that at a time. So this is my newest design for a movable coop. Again, plenty of ventilation, some slats for them to roost on, and a nest box. I have their feeder up off the ground. It's weatherproof. And then for their water, I'm gonna work out something different, but we just got this little 5-gallon water, 3-gallon, however many gallons that is. It's really heavy water. And for the most part, it works out pretty well if all you have is a few birds. I think I got 4 in here right now. And, you know, you don't have to move it every day, but they will scratch, peck, tear up the grass, whatever. So, you know, if you move it every few days, you don't have to worry about the manure load like you do with the static coop. No cleanup. So when I say no cleanup, all right, so this is where they're at now. And that's just a shade cloth that I haven't attached yet. We're gonna attach that and try and make sure they have plenty of shade to get in. But I also want them to have plenty of sunlight. So we're gonna do about half of it in shade cloth. Anyway, so that's where they're at today. They were here a couple of days ago. They stayed here way too long. You can see. But then as we go back further and further, you know, it just disappears, especially during the summertime. Let me show you something that I thought was kind of cool. I don't know if you can spot the trail that the chicken tractor took, but I'm walking down a trail that it took, and you can clearly see this trail where all the other grass is dead, whatever, whether that be from the manure load or them just scratching and pecking and carrying on. I mean, it's It's a very defined little path, and it just follows right where I went with the chicken tractor. So, you know, depends on what you want. Yeah, how much time you want to dedicate to your chickens. Let me show you another one. All right, so this is another chicken tractor that we got. Again, it's just got the shade cloth on there. I do have a 5-gallon bucket waterer on here, so that does allow us quite a bit of time away without having to worry about water. I don't like that valve a lot, but it does work decent as long as you keep it kind of level. Again, just got a 5-gallon bucket feeder and a nest box, which has no hay right now because I just put it back up there and screwed it down because they kept knocking it over. Now, this little tractor, chicken tractor, whatever you want to call it, is El Cheapo, made out of fence boards. I think it was advertised on Lumina Acres as a $30 chicken tractor. Pretty certain it cost me a little over $30, but it wasn't much over. Yeah, so I mean it's done well. I had to go in and reinforce some of it. See if this is the one I reinforced or the other one. Now this one needs reinforcing. This other one with the tarp, I went in and reinforced some stuff because it was, the little fencing boards just aren't, you know, designed to, see that red board there? I put a 2x4 up across there to keep the roof from bowing in. But other than that, these little things, if you're trying to get by on the cheap, you know, under 50 bucks, you can have a 8-foot by 8-foot little chicken coop, pull it along. See, this one I don't have the waterers up off the ground. Everything's not up off the ground. This one, everything's up off the ground, so I just grab this rope and we just pull it along. And these chickens are relatively new to this, so they freak out a little bit. But the ones that are used to it, they'll just move on right along with you. And like I said, now they're leaving behind yesterday and day before's manure, and they got a free, you know, patch of grass to hunt and peck at. So which one do I believe is better? So I got a run from there all the way down here, and I think it's probably about 75 foot across there. It's a nice little chicken yard for them. Plenty of room. This side I just added last year. So it'll still have some grass come up in it. The other side's moonscape. And I can lock them out of this side if I wanted to. The problem is I got this coop. Let's go look at it. So when we moved out here to the country, this was my first chicken coop. No, I lied. That was the first one, but it was on a tractor. And so we moved that one over there and we put this one here. Well, anyway, long story short, so it's a nice little coop. It's made out of pallets, pallet wood. It is on the cheap. I don't know that I spent anything on this one. The tin was just some scrap tin that we had, that we found here on the property when we moved here. Yeah, I had to buy the hinges probably, about it. So anyway, as you can see, I got a couple of roost bars in there, and well, it's pretty nasty right at the moment. But I had to cut the floor out of it because they were just keeping it too nasty, because they pile in here like sardines. They love this little coop. So, you know, they probably, what is it? Probably 4 or 5 of them across each bar. I mean, it's crazy to see them in here at night, but they pack in this dude. So this one, a little bit easier to deal with than that static coop, because this one, you know, the poo's just falling out the bottom, and well, it just dries up in the, you know, whatever. It doesn't stink out here or anything, you know. They do get some poo in there. I did, when I built this, I was a novice, really, kinda, but I put the nest box and it works pretty good. Problem is their poo. I mean, they just poo everywhere. So I was trying to keep the eggs cleaner, and in that effort I cut the floor out. Well, they still have to walk across something to get to that nest box. I don't know what the answer is, other than, you know, having a floor with bedding and all that. Well, I had that at first, and they were laying eggs in the corner of the bedding and then pooing on the eggs. So, I don't know. That's not a perfect design, but it does work pretty good now that I got them all trained to go into the big static coop over here and lay their eggs. I can keep the floor in it a little drier, especially now that the ducks are gone. And so they don't have as much mud on their feet or poo or whatever it is. So yeah, that's a little tour of the different chicken coops we got here. Let me wrap this up. All right, guys, well, let me know what you think. Do you believe that the static coop's the better setup for you personally? Do you like the maneuverability of the little chicken tractors? The one with the coop built on top of it, or the cheaper version where they have no real coop, just a run slash coop slash everything, or the small static, to where, you know, it's a little bit easier to manage, I think. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. If you would, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all in the next video.